Welcome back to the Daily Dean. So, as I'm recording this, as I'm uploading this, this is December 17th, the last day of school for the majority of my classmates and other people that I assume are watching this. So, let's talk about that, right? Last and first days of school, because they're basically the same thing. Well, I mean, technically it's the last day of the semester, but same sentiment, right? If for a long little while, I always didn't really care about the last day of school unless it was like a big milestone, right? From what would have been 5th to 6th grade or 8th to ninth grade, right? Those two big dates, very important. And those last days of school marked like, not going to the same location, right? Unless you went through a K through 8 school, in which case you wouldn't really need to go to a different school. Point being, if you went up a grade level, right, elementary to middle to high school, you're going to a different school. And those things were really important and really, fundamental changes. Now, if you're in high school right now, it's very likely you are now you transitioned from one school to another school. And what does that really entail? Lots of stuff, right? But let's go. I'll share my perspective on that. When we move schools, it happens very frequently. You may lose contact with a lot of friends, a lot of people that you care about, and other things. Maybe just through distance and schedule. Maybe through different schools, other things like that. And you may feel a little guilty about it. You may feel like, I wish I could be in more contact with these people who I care about and these people who I value. But I wouldn't stress it. I wouldn't put so much pressure on yourself or on other people, right? If you feel guilty about, losing the people that you care about along the way, take a breath. Take a breath about, your past. Think about your future, maybe even a little bit. You're not at fault for doing those things, for letting those things happen, right? A relationship is a two-part thing, right? If you're distant from another person or your friend group or whatever, and you lose contact with that person, don't beat yourself up about that, that semi-lost relationship, for a lack of better terms. It's just something that happens, and those types of things and events and relationships that grow and fade with time, perfectly natural. So, if you're sad about, thinking back and looking back and thinking, I wish that I'm still in contact with that person, don't beat yourself up about, the fact that you may no longer be in contact with them. But now, consider, can you do something to change it, right? Can you call somebody? Can you text somebody? Can you email somebody? Tell them, hey, thank you, Miss Blank. Let's say, generic name, Miss Doe. Thank you, Miss Doe, for being such a great teacher. Hi. Thank you, Abraham. I'm glad to have been in your company. Other things like that. Because if you value somebody, or you valued somebody in the past, share it with them. I want you to think about who have you lost contact with, and who do you care about still, that you might be able to share right now, this last day of the semester, and possibly, actually just last day of the semester, maybe today or maybe tomorrow, right, depending on your district or school or whatever. Share with them right now, or to some other point, how much you care about them. And, you could do that with the people in your lives right now, but there's this great quote that I heard from a TV show that I still think about. I can't remember what TV show. It's like, a wall doesn't miss a brick until it's gone, right? At that point, a wall will collapse because that brick is gone. Now, nobody is really that dependent on another person, I hope. That is kind of a toxic level of dependency to have on another person, that they will physically collapse because they do not have that person in their life anymore. But the sentiment that shares is that, you don't really realize, oh my gosh, this is going to sound very cliche, but something we might be able to think about together. You don't really miss something until it's gone. So think about that. Dwell on that. I've dwelled on that a little bit. So something interesting and hopefully a little worthwhile, because who knows what might happen. And again, I'll emphasize some of those points. Don't beat yourself up about lost or distant relationships now. If you can, thank somebody in your past for how much they mean to you or how much they have meant to you in the past before. And fourth, that time, the relationships that you have now, you don't know how they might fade in the future. So I guess, oh my gosh, I'm realizing how cliche this all sounds in retrospect. Be grateful for what you have, or something along those lines. Take what you will from that. So thank you. I hope you have a nice break, and Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, right? Even if it's nothing, because a break is still awesome.